This episode is part of an ongoing story. If you're new here, you might want to start with episode 1. And now, the story continues.
Lee's voice shook when he asked, "What are you saying?" "I'm sorry," Emma whispered. "I know you're angry at me." "How can I be angry when I don't even know what's going on? If this is about what Chris said, it's not." He stared at her, dazed. "Did I say something then? I mean, I know we had a pretty deep conversation back there, but—" "Lee, stop. It doesn't matter. You want to know because you think you can sort it out. When I fall, you pick me up. When I'm burned, you kiss the pain away. And when I'm sick, you take care of me. I don't know what compels you to fix everything that's broken with me. But don't you see? People think we're together because we act like we are." She opened her car door, and Lee grabbed her shoulders to steady her. "Wait, you can't just throw all this at me and leave." With eyes squeezed shut and jaw trembling, she whispered, "Please don't touch me." When she looked at him again, she'd have thought she slapped him. The reality of the situation finally sunk in, and his panicked expression made her wish she could comfort him. Then again, her innate desire to be there for him had been their problem from day one. "We kept saying we had this unique friendship that no one understood," she said. "Turns out, we didn't even understand it. We played with fire." Lee shook his head. "No, this is wrong. Everything was fine not even an hour ago. Something set you off. We'll figure things out. You just don't want to accept it because it's not what you want. We just perfected the scene today, Emma. You can't quit." Flabbergasted, she tried another approach. "Do you remember holding me that night?" Lee jerked his head up, trying to keep pace with her. "What?" "The night you stayed in my bed with me. You didn't even realize you laid your arm around me and you held me for hours." "No, I remember, but I don't get where you're going with this." Despite herself, she asked, "You do?" She'd always wondered if he'd forgotten where he slept or thought he held Kira instead of her. Her stirring expression quieted him. "Every night since then, I fall asleep imagining you holding me," she said. "I didn't wear your shirt because I had nothing else. I wore it because it made me feel close to you." Despondently, he replied, "I didn't know." "You couldn't have. I didn't realize it either until we danced to that freaking song." Lee's face drained of color as he accepted the truth. "I don't know what to say." "But you believe me now. I'm not just a flighty woman riding an emotional wave. I'm broken, and you can't fix me." She looked him square in the eye with all the fierceness she could pull together. "But I can, and I damn sure will." With that, she flung herself into her front seat and slammed the door. She drove out of the parking lot with Lee still visible in her rearview mirror, watching her. Finishing her afternoon shift at the market, Emma stepped out into the crisp air, preparing for her walk home. She stopped suddenly when she saw Lee waiting for her. He held up her spare key, revealing the reason for his surprise visit. Looking as though he hadn't slept for days, he asked, "Can we please talk?" She nodded, feeling guilty about the way she'd sprung everything on him and run away the night before. "Will you sit with me?" He gestured toward his car. Hesitantly, she walked to the passenger side and got in. The interior smelled musty and needed a good cleaning. "I thought about what you said, and I'm sorry about the lines I crossed," he said. "I never meant to hurt you." She shook her head. "We both crossed lines, and I'm sorry for that too. But you didn't mislead me." "I was jealous." She jerked her head toward him. "What?" Lee kept his eyes on the steering wheel. When I thought your friend Brandon was your boyfriend, and when Chris flirted with you, I was jealous. Well, we slept together. A little jealousy makes sense. Emma, you didn't hurt me, she said. This was my fault. I just wanted you to want me again, I guess. When he didn't respond, she said, I can't believe I said that. You think I haven't wanted you? Lee asked. That's what I'm talking about. Why do you think I left so fast the day you accidentally dropped your towel? I didn't trust myself. It took everything I had not to go get you the night you slept over. I almost did. But that first night, I was on a break, and after that, I couldn't do anything. Hearing him say he'd longed for her validated her doubts. The brush she'd heard against Chris's bedroom door had been him, after all, wanting her. She hadn't been crazy for questioning his motives at times, but in the end he'd fought his desires and stayed faithful to Kyra. So you have nothing to feel guilty about, because you didn't, she said. Anyway, it was more than that. I wanted you to want to... When she didn't complete the sentence, Lee asked, What? Be with me. God, I have to get out of here. I can't stop embarrassing myself. She turned her face so he couldn't see the tear that formed in her eye. He placed the key gently in her hand and then wrapped his fingers over hers. I care about you, he said. I know that. Do you? Because you're my best friend, Emma. I don't want to lose you. Best friends. As sweet as that sounded, she couldn't block out her need for more. We're still friends. I just need some time, she said. Stuck in a conundrum of wanting to leave and yet savoring what would be her last intimate moment with Lee, she sat there and let him hold her hand. Scrutinizing every blade of grass outside her window, she finally let the tears fall. I wish you'd reconsider the show, Lee said. We worked so hard on it. Though my heart tatters, I cannot stay. When she'd first learned those lines, she never imagined she'd use them that way. Still, she appreciated the moment for lending itself to use her script. Isn't that where Edmund kisses Lady Jane goodbye? She looked him in the eyes for the first time since she'd gotten in the car. Her voice faltered as she said, I'm not Lady Jane anymore, Lee. She leaned to open the car door, and he pulled her back. Please don't leave crying. Just stay with me for a minute. Against her better judgment, she whispered, Okay. Lee pulled her to his chest, making her cry harder. She'd given up Lady Jane, and the man who didn't love her back comforted her over it. After a few minutes, she wiped her face and sat up. I'm all right. I should go. Will you let me give you a ride home? I like to walk. Yeah, I know, Elizabeth. He referred to Elizabeth Bennet's preference of walking, and she thought perhaps he hadn't disliked the movie as much as he'd let on. You know, that was my nightmare, he said. No, you never told me. I dreamed you walked home from work and got attacked. Emma's face went pale. Wow, that's terrible. But I never walk in the dark. Hopelessly, he asked. All the same, let me drop you off at home? Remembering his reaction the day he'd had the dream, she couldn't refuse him. Sure, she said. The drive lasted less than 5 minutes. When they reached her building, she said, If you give me a second, I'll grab your shirt for you. Keep it. Oh, no, I can't. The day I gave it to you, I meant for you to have it. I didn't know if I'd ever see you again. Keep it. It's yours anyway. Emma's phone buzzed on her nightstand. For the first time in weeks, she'd slept in on a Saturday morning. The text came from Chris. Step class at 10? I'm surprised you want to go again. You're not the only hot girl in there. Is it just you? Lee's not going, don't worry. Okay, see you there. When she reached the gym, Chris gave her a much-needed hug. So, I have a favor to ask of you if you can help me, he said. I'll try. My niece asked me to be a clown in a church program tomorrow, and I hoped you could help me figure out the makeup. Happy to do something useful, she asked, Do you have time after class? We could try out some looks and then pick one. I'll help you put it on tomorrow too if you'd like, assuming you mean the morning. I hoped you'd say that, but you'd have to come with me to church. I'd be happy to. They worked through the step class with only one person asking about Lee, and Sandy beamed at having a hunk back in her class. When they finished, Emma told him to meet her at her apartment in half an hour. He arrived with 2 wigs and a bag full of multicolored makeup. While she painted his face, he finally brought up the subject they'd been avoiding. Lee told me you dropped out of the show. Emma frowned. Did he tell you why? Chris nodded. The night you left the restaurant, he got snockered and pretty much told me everything. Like, everything? Yeah. Great, so you know what a moron I am. Hey, he whispered. Come here. He gave her a comforting squeeze that felt different from what she'd had with Lee. They didn't nuzzle one another's necks or hold on like letting go would mean losing each other forever. Lee was every bit a part of it as you, Chris said. I tried to tell him. I wanted to kick his ass for you, and I would have if it had been a fair fight. You can't really be proud of beating down a man who can't even stand up straight. That explained the way he looked when he'd shown up to give her the spare key. That bad, huh? He feels awful. She busied herself painting a huge, dopey grin on his lower face. Time will pass. We'll both get over it. Why don't you come out with me later tonight? Smiling, she said, You mean like be your wing girl? I can talk you up to all the sexy women in the joint? Yeah, and I'll talk you up to the men. Emma shook her head. I'm not ready just yet, but soon. Chris took her hand. You know, if I could help you get over him and make you mine, I would. You will never stop flirting, will you? She laughed. He slapped his chest in pretend agony. Can't blame a guy for trying. When she finished the first look, he said, Let's get the help of Instagram. Snap a photo and we'll post these and see which one everyone likes best. Once they posted all the different clown looks, Emma said, If we hadn't been prepping for a children's program, we could have had more fun with it. I'm not in a hurry. Show me what you'd do if I were going to a costume party or something, he said. She set to work making him look like a deranged jester, after which he admired himself in the mirror for a full 10 minutes. Why don't you do your face and take a photo with me, he asked. Feeling adventurous, she drew diamonds over her eyes with points at the end. Smoky blue and pink hues trailed from under her eyes, and a black smile covered her red lips, cutting across her jaws. Wow, yours looks sexy, he told her. He snapped the photo and captioned it, just for fun. So, what are you going to do tonight? He asked. I don't want you to be alone and sad. I'm not. One of my work friends is having a football party later. I was thinking of heading over after my shift. Chris looked up in surprise. Football fan, huh? I never would have guessed. What team? Alabama, she said. My family is originally from Tuscaloosa. Later that night, Emma went home instead of hanging out with her coworkers. She hadn't meant to lie to Chris. She just changed her mind. Crawling in her bed, she turned on the game and watched from the comfort of her covers. Her phone buzzed, and she almost expected it to be Lee. They'd texted so often over the past weeks, it had become second nature to see his name as the sender. A wave of agony seized her as she remembered that wouldn't be the case anymore. Her life felt like going through a breakup when Lee had never been hers. Once again, the message came from Chris. Touchdown! Wherever he'd gone, it must have been a sports bar. She smiled at the message, happy he'd chosen to remain her friend despite the circumstances. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. His interaction with her reminded her to log on to Instagram to see which clown look Chris's followers liked the best. On the photo he'd posted of the two of them, tagged just for fun, Lee's account appeared in the liked by line at the top. His jealousy of her and Chris must have come to a halt if he'd liked a photo of her with him. Or did he do it to say hello? Wishing she hadn't looked, she put her phone face down on her nightstand, as if that would somehow keep Lee away from her. In her heart and mind, escaping him proved impossible. Chris knocked at 8:45, Starbucks in hand. I love you, Emma said as she opened the door. That's not what you said yesterday, he teased. I was talking to the coffee, she teased back. Be ready in a sec. She chose a casual blue dress and beige wedges. Quickly curling the edges of her hair, she threw on dangle earrings and grabbed her coat and purse. Okay, we can go, she said. Look at you. Did I mention Lee is a complete idiot? He asked. You might have said it once or twice. He said, He asked me how you were doing. Emma looked concerned. I hope you told him I'm great. I did, because you are. He wanted to know if you planned to go to the production with me. Oh, I don't know. Chris's eyes pleaded with her. Come on, Emma. You deserve to see how the scene turns out. You put so many of your ideas into it. Plus, there's all the other plays you've been watching for weeks. Don't you want to see the last performance? I do. I just would feel so awkward. You'll be with me. I'll hold your hand through the whole thing if you need me to. Just come with me. I'll think about it.
Thanks for listening to What Happens Between the Scenes. You can find this story and future episodes on YouTube by searching Laura Purple Butterfly. You can also find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts by searching the Purple Butterfly Archives.